So now it's all the session is recording, and we will jump right into the section where we left, and that is last time we were discussing about template tags and different types of template tags, and today we will also discuss about how you can use a conditional tags inside your templates. That is, you can run conditional rendering. That is, for example, if you have some condition is false and you don't want to be that part to be rendered out and shown to the user, that can also happen in Django. You can use conditional rendering and you can hide the content and it won't be even visible in the inspect panel. If you just inspect anything like here, you can see you have all the HTML tags and whatever if, so the whatever you uh, hide using conditional tags, it won't be able to display even here. So we should jump right into the code, and I think no one is here. If you just let me know if someone is asking for entry, because I won't be able to see the this is screen of Google Meet. So let me share my screen, the whole screen. So this was our code last time, and we created two views. The first is data and another index, and I can show you what we did in the last session. That is, when we load our local host and we get something kind of this thing. That is, this is loading from the template, and the things that you are seeing here in below are we are getting from it from database. The model we created in the first day. So let me show you how we are actually getting it. And here is the code. That is, we are importing all the objects that we created in the first day, and we rendering giving them to the context of the template, that is home.html. And let me show you the home.html, how it is rendering out. And here we are, and you can see a for loop and a name and a variable name as the data that we passed here is the data, and a list of objects, that is query set, to the data variable, which is here is using to iterate over it. And is here is the iterator variable, and we are getting all the titles from the database. And let me show you my model too. That is title. There is only one field, that is title, and we are displaying here a title in a list of group items. So, and we created this template, which is just a basic template, but it's totally something not as good as every template or the all the HTML code that you see online. So let me move right into more about the things of template tags, and we will use one of the tags this from the documentation, that is center tag or cap first tag. That is, it will capitalize the first letter, and there are some easy to use your tags that you can use in your HTML template. And there are some other kinds of tags also. That is, if you have something for example, you saved a complete HTML code inside of your model, or inside your model database, and you want them to be rendered out as a HTML. So you have something kind of a tag name as safe. If it is here, I can show you. First float format, that is it. Uh, there are too many HTML tags, and this is this. So it will render out all the HTML tag and print the output of the HTML, not just the HTML tag output. That is something here. It will print the rendered format of the HTML. So let's use one template tag to illustrate how you can actually use it. So I will use the cap first template tag, which is just a basic template tag, and I don't think you will ever need it, but I'm just illustrating you. So you just use that syntax, that is this, and that is the value. In my case, here is the 8 dot title, and I will write here cap first. Okay. After that, I'm saving my file, and my server is already running. I hope yours too. So after you reload your localhost homepage, and you can see the all the things here are now at the cap first. That is, if you can see the little changes, let me change it to the back to the normal where we were and show you the right now. And here all the things are not starting with the capital letter, but if I want to start them with capital letter, I can use the simple HTML or template tag to do that. So I will just get back to it, whatever we left it. And now here we are. Every starting letter of the object or the title is now kept first. That means every letter is a capital, the starting letter. So after that, so you now know how you can use actually the HTML tags, and you can read more about it here. I have already provided the link in the group. You can go through it, and you can find out your whatever you like or whatever the kind of HTML tag you want to use in your project. There are various type of HTML tags. So I won't go into the all types of the HTML tag, and I will just jump right into the template inheritance. And here we are, and we have a home.html template. But if you see here, we have all my heading section included here, and my footer section, if you can say that, where we include all our script and all the rough stuff that is here. So I want to be my template to be clean and simple. For example, let me introduce here a navigation bar in this template. For that, I will go into the bootstrap and copy a simple navigation bar from there. So let's move into the bootstrap. I'm just doing this to illustrate you how the inheritance works, and actually the Django works on the principle of drive, that is, don't repeat yourself. So if I show you the example, the things will be much clear to you. And here is the basic navigation bar. Uh, let let copy any of the navigation bar, and I will just copy this, simply this one, and get right back into my HTML template, and that is home.html. And inside it, inside the body tag, I will put my navigation bar and save it. After that, I will go to go my go to the local host and try to reload it to see if it is working or not. And after the reload, I can see here my the navigation bar is here, and but if you look all the things inside the HTML, it's not that great, and it's not even that beautiful and clear to see and understand the things. So according to the Django, for example, you have multiple pages, and as you know, every pages contain the navigation bar on top or left or right or the whatever the position you supposed to want it. And so you will copy this all code all over the all HTML template that you create. But Django does not prefer this way, and it's not good for web development in Django. So Django has a very simple and very elegant way to work with this template, that is template inheritance. And for I've just show you how you can inherit a template. I will create this file name base.html. That will be our base template, and we will inherit it from it. And let me show you how. So I will copy, let me create one more file, that is navbar.html, to show you how we can include a part of a HTML from another HTML file inside the another HTML, and how you can inherit also the HTML, and how total inheritance in Django work. So in navbar section, I will copy the navbar HTML code and paste it right here and save it. And all the code inside here, I will copy it to, and sorry, cut it, and I will paste it inside the base.html. And the part which I actually wanted to be rendered through a render function in my view file, here you can see home.html and the data that I am giving here for rendering. I will copy this code and I will paste it in my home.html and save it. Now come to the base.html and use a HTML tag, sorry, template tags provided by Django to work with template inheritance, and how it is. And in the last session, we talked about template tags, which are given by Django, how they are in syntax, that is 2%. And between this, you write your code or whatever the syntax that is given to you, whatever the function, whatever the variable name, or whatever the condition you want, whatever the for loop you want. In my case, I want to create a space where I want this code to be inside here. I want this code to be copied of, during the rendering inside here body tag. So for that, I will create block content. You can name block content. I can change the content name to anything here, but for now I'm naming it as a content. And here I will write replace me, and here I will write, I have to close it also. The every template tag that you try to open inside the HTML file, you also have to close it. So I will close it by like this. And block, after closing, you have to also change some things in the home.html, that is how will the base.html know that this is the content, and it should be replaced here inside here. For that, I need to specify that this is the block content that I wanted to be replaced here inside here, and with the rendering context and all the variable that we are giving to it. So for that, use block, sorry, I also write a template tag here, that is block content, and I have to close it also, and I need to close it and block. Now we have provided which content we want to be replaced inside here, but how will we know that it needs it should go to that base.html and put himself inside here, or the all the code that you are writing here, it should be copied here. For that, you need to also write one simple HTML tag and the inheritance tag for template inheritance, that is you have to extend it like every class you extend in Python. So I will write tag as a sorry, 1 second. And I was using something kind of thing that is I was what that is extends. Okay, extends, and the name of the HTML file that you want it to be extend from, and where you want to be inherited from, that is base.html. And I think it shouldn't be inside the curly braces. I got something that it shouldn't be inside the curly braces, if I'm correct. It shouldn't be inside in the curly braces. It shouldn't be under the quotes, and that's it. That's how you can inherit the template, and let me show you how it is working. Mm, I need to go to my browser and reload my localhost. After reloading, and you can see this is the old template style that we created, but as you can see here in the base.html, there is no navigation bar. That's why there is no navigation bar here also. So I also want to include the navigation bar here in my base.html. So for that, I can write something here in my base.html, that is percentage include, and the HTML template name, that is navbar.html, and that's fine. And what it will do is it will go into the navbar.html and copy all the code and paste it right here in the base.html. So I think that's fine. Let me just go to the browser and reload it. And after the reload, you can see here is my navigation bar. And now if you go to your home.html file, that is your HTML template that you are giving the context from here in the view, is now simply clean and simple. And you can now create multiple pages with the same styling, that is it will include a navigation bar and the content inside here, and it just works simply fine. And you can create multiple pages without even copying the code all over again in all your HTML file. That's how the template inheritance work in the Django. So I will so here we have a view that is index. I will also convert it into the render function view. So for that, I will need to create a simple HTML file to illustrate you how the templating inheritance actually is. So I will name it as a index.html. You can name it anything. I will just name it as a test.html. Inside the test.html, just copy this code, that is this and this, and we need to close the block content, that is end block, and save it. And inside the block content, you can type whatever you want and whatever you want to show. I will write here my template is working, and I will go into my views to give it the path and then context or whatever the thing that we wanted to be rendered with the test.html. So I will change my HTTP response to the with the render function. So I will write render, and You have to give it the request, and the name of your HTML template, that is test.html in my case, and I have no context variable here or the context dictionary. You must remember that in your render function, you have to give it dictionary. You cannot directly write like you get a list from the object here, that is query set, and you if you use directly use the query set here where the context is written like uh, like this. You can't do this. You have to give it in the form of a dictionary, that is uh, query set, whatever the name of variable you want to use in your template. By that you can access it in your template. In my case, I am using it using a name data, and that's the name that I am using to get the data inside my template. So I will, how you can give directly the text dictionary here, let me show you simple example, nothing more, nothing less. And the text, and whatever the data you wanted to give, data, the data will be the variable that you are processing from here. Data something, whatever the you are processing inside here, the view, it should be passed here. So the format of context should be a dictionary. You can't just directly pass a variable. So let's just back right to the where it was, and that's fine. In here, I don't have any context, so I'm just leaving that part, and let's go to the localhost. Before that, let me show you my URL file that we changes in the last class. We give the index URL with a view of data and the list URL to the index view. We changed that in the last session, and I will now can access that the index view by using the URL list. Let me show you how. And I will write list here. After the list, I can see we are getting hello world because uh, something. Now I am debugging my code why it's not showing what I'm trying to do, and why it's that. I think my browser, my server is not reloaded. Let me rerun my server. Let's see it's working or not. Reload it. Yeah, it's working just fine. Working just fine as it expected to be. And you have your navigation bar. It's pretty ugly, I can say, but you can create your own navigation bar. It's smooth and nice and easy. And here is the whole concept that you need to work with templates in Django. If you guys have any question from the last session, let me see my okay. Uh, no. So why can't we write include dot home dot html? Actually, if we write, let me just show you by changing here include dot html. Include dot this dot html, and if go to the local host in my here, and you can see here it's now getting it's not getting any data to replace here. So in your case, in Python or even any language, whenever you do a inheritance, it's like you replace that part, or you inherit the properties of that. So that means when I'm inheriting that template, that means I'm giving the variable, I'm giving a block of content where it should look for inside the base.html and replace it. If I don't try to replace it here, it won't affect it. But what actually is happening here is uh, you can see that if you use include to just copy that part of code inside your template, or whatever the HTML file you are trying to work with. But in case you want to replace some content inside that HTML file from the another HTML file, you need to inherit like this extend.base.html, and you need to specify which part of the content you want to replace. In your base.html, you also have to give the place where it should replace the content with. I can just change here the content name to the title. Yes, I'm just showing you. You can give any name, and below here, no need to change here. And here in my here in my case, I will type it here now with title and reload my web page again. If you see it's still working, that means it's just looking for the that part that is where the content, where the block of title is starting inside the base.html, that is here. The block.title is starting here and ending here. So it will replace that all the content inside here from where we are actually inheriting it to the base.html. Just simply just inheriting and replacing that part of code from your where your where you are actually inheriting that template to the base.html file. It's not, it can be anything. It doesn't supposed to be dot base.html file. It can be anything. It can be a navbar.html file. If I create here also a block of content here, same HTML tags as I created here, that is here, and I will just put it right here inside my navbar and then save it. But it won't actually replace the content inside the navbar.html because it's not inheriting it. So to replace the content inside the HTML file, you need to inherit it. So it will get the all the things that how to work with the content that you are trying to replace or work with. Uh, any else doubt you have, Nandana? If you have any doubt, you can say. Okay. I think these things are almost clear. If not, you can just go to the django.project.com. Sorry, is it .com, and read about the templating engine, and you will get to know all the theory behind it. I can't just explain you all the basic necessity and the things that are actually happening with this part, because you don't need to actually worry about that much. You need to just work around these things, how to change the content, how to replace the content, and after that we need to work with condition in template. For that, for that, we will use the if condition inside the home.html, where we are actually rendering the content. Let me change my base.html to the where it was, to block content, home.html block content, navbar is okay, and I need to change here also, and everything is okay now. So I want to get number of counters, or where my for loop is actually is at the time it is running. So there is also a variable name, uh, template tag inside the Django to get know the actual counter number which the URL which the for loop is running. That is for uh, for loop counter something. For loop counter. I don't remember actually. I don't actually use that much. Never needed it for any purpose. I can use it. inside here there is the for loop. Yeah, for loop. For loop counter, that is the for loop counter variable name. And now go to my template, and now I will create a simple paragraph including the for loop counter variable. Mhm. If it is a variable, you have to double close in double curly braces. And let me go back to my home.html localhost and reload it. You can now see here the where is the actually loop is by using loop counter variable given in the documentation of Django project. And here is the example of using a simple if and else loop inside the HTML. You can use it. If not that way, if you are familiar with Python language with if and else looping, I don't see any problem here working with if and else inside the HTML tag. But still, what I can show you is I can run a simple condition here, that is if for loop.counter is equal to 2, it should give that, or otherwise it should write something else, that is need to write this condition. If it is a condition, I need to include it in a one single curly braces, and also the percentage, both side percentage. And, and now give it a else condition, that it will write what it will write in the else condition, that is I am in else condition, and I need to close my if condition, that is required to ever work with an HTML template. So I need to close my if condition, and if, and here we are, I close my if condition. If the loop counter is equal to 2, it will print a dot title dot cap and capitalizing the first letter. Else it will print out that I am in the else condition. I'm just illustrating you. Don't worry about the syntax of list and this and this all. Just understand the concept, and could not pass the reminder, that is simple syntax here, that is counter dot mm-hmm. If dot counter. Should be using something like this one. Let's see what is wrong. If I am correct, it should run. Error doing template rendering could not pass equal to. Okay. Should work. Yeah. So you have to take care of the every spacing inside of that syntax writing of that HTML template tag inside the HTML, inside your template. That I forgot to use some spaces. That even that space is necessary in my. If you don't give a space between percentage and if, it won't even render. Let me show you. If I reload it here, it's rendering. Sorry to say, it's rendering actually. It's working fine. And if I give it here, if I don't give a space here, what will happen? Yeah, you need to careful about the spaces inside the template tag when you're using inside the templates. You might see something kind of this error. Sorry, did I forgot something? Okay. So that's the problem. That's why I'm saying you need to very careful about the spaces. And I reload it now. Yeah. So when the loop counter is 2, it is actually printing the data from the database, and when it is not equal to 2, it is printing I am in the else condition. And you can see if I inspect here, let's see what we are actually getting in rendering form. And you can now see here everything is just fine, and even you can hide the content. And here we are not getting all the data that we are actually passing in the form of list to the template. We are actually seeing only those things that we passed, that is actually passing our condition, and passing the condition of for loop counter equal to 2, that is this condition is passed, and that's why it is printing the data from the database. That means if you are passing all the data to the template, it won't even render if the condition is not true or it's not verified or valid. It won't even render in the public view also, that is your actual HTML template rendered form. So it's pretty easy, and it's very safe to work with. So now you understand the use of if condition inside the template tags. And here we are. And one thing we will I will also want to include, that is inside your main site and the settings.py file, you are seeing here is something kind of secret key. This should be kept secret during the production. For now, we are actually working with in learning about Django and things. So I don't care actually right now. But in the case of production, you need to set this key inside the environment variable. That is, I will get this key as like this environment, and I will get the key name, that is secret key. So it secure all the things, all the necessary things of your Django, because you need to secure the secret key, otherwise the person will have access to your Django project. And you must allow a specific host to actually get the data and get the responses from your Django. So you need to specify here in allowed hosts. That's it. I also set here a template folder. In last class, I didn't set the templates, and that's all for now. And what you can actually do is to learn more about, first you learn more about the built-in template tags, and use these tags inside your HTML template and figure out how they are actually working. After that, we will work with model, and how we can actually get the data, and figure out if the data is not actually in the database, so it will create an error, and that will lead us something that we don't want to users to know. So for that purpose, we have a simple shortcut, that is get object or 404. I will explain it later. You don't need to worry about. We have to just import it, and we will use it. What it will do is it will get the object if it present in the database. If not, it will raise the error, that is 404, that you actually see on some websites. If you enter something, some web page, like if I do something kind of thing, that is GitHub slash something, it will definitely show me the 404 page that is there. That is what is 404 page. That means it's figuring out that whatever I'm typing here is not in their database or in their URL pattern. So it's giving me the 404 page. So Django is pre-built and pre-configured with these all things, that is how to manage if the data doesn't exist in the database or object doesn't exist in the database. If I'm saying object, that is mean I am saying about the data that is inside the database. So these are the things, and we will tomorrow we will work with authentication views. As we said, we have covered the using condition, template tags and filters. That is built-in template tags here that I provided the link yesterday, and we also discussed about the template tags yesterday, and we rendered the data from the database with a model. We did that yesterday, and tomorrow we will create a user registration and login form, and also I will work with how you can actually get the data from the user using the form. And let me show you how, and an example what we'll be doing tomorrow. That is, let me initiate this project. I will close that project, and everything is fine here. Now activate the virtual environment of this project. And where is it? And is it inside here? I need to activate it from here. So VNB activate .NET service. So should run, yeah, some error. That means I have deleted something else. I have deleted something. Forget it. Something else I can show, that is I think I need to install some libraries that I included in this project, but I deleted its environment, so that's why I can't figure out, and I'm using someone else's environment. That's why I can't find the library that I'm using in this project. So what will happen tomorrow, that is we will work with authentication view. We will create a login, and how the actually the logout thing happen in the Django. And we will work with three things, that is login, logout, and registration. And if we complete that part, we will move on to the part of how you can actually work with creating an object from the website, that is actually going to the website and writing the things out, not using the localhost admin and or the command line API for creating objects. So that's it for now. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. And I don't know, Pinay, are you okay with the last session? Did you watch the last session and completed whatever we did in the last session? Pranay?
Hello? Hello, am I audible?
Actually, I can't hear you, Pranay. You can just type in the chat box. I can't hear you. Did you actually completed the last thing that as you were not okay, I'm halfway done through it. Okay. And Nandana, did you completed the last session Actually, you guys were just watching yesterday, right? Okay, okay, okay. I need to, I need you guys to complete all the things that we
Front and
are
back
to do
mudguards.
today, uh, so that we can actually move on to the next part, that is getting the data, entering the data, deleting the data. That is called as a CRUD view: create, read, update, and delete. That what we will do in upcoming session, how you can actually create and read. Actually, the read part is actually completed. We are getting the data from the database. That is the read part. We need to work with the update part, delete part, and the create part from the HTML template from there, actually from your own website page, not from the API, command line API, or from the Django administration site, because some things are already completed, or the components are, the pre-built component comes with these kind of functionality to create a object inside from the administration side. So but every, so if you create any site, you won't give everyone access to the admission site. That's why we will create or update an object from the front view, that is public view, and we will also limit the use cases by using the login required method, which will, what will it will do is it will ask for login if you want to update something, or if you want to create something. We can also do that. uh, if anyone have any doubt, you can just ask me. If you don't understand one of the thing that I did today, or anything at all, or if you don't have any doubt, you can say it's okay, or all fine, all good, and we will see you tomorrow. Yeah, all good. Okay. Did you guys know how we actually store our environment variable? That the last part I was explaining about, how you can get a secret key from your environment variable. Did you guys know actually? Just let me know in the comment box, chat box. Sorry. Okay. No. Okay. Okay. So it's, we have some time left, so it won't take much for that. Sorry, for that part, we need to go inside our folder, that is your environment variable folder, that is VNV, and inside the script folder you have something that is called as a activate.pet file, and just open it with any code editor. And I will open it with my own code editor, and just, I will just go just below the all the things, and I will scroll down to the end, and I will write export secret key, or whatever I want to give here, that is this thing. I will just give it here. That's the thing. And I will just store it here. And I will store it here as here. Secret key export, and okay. So after that, I need to get here that key. So I will remove that part, and I will write os dot get environment variable name. And what I give here is secret key. And after that, I need to run my server to check out is it working or not. So I'm right back into my directory and activate my environment. Let's see, export is not recognized as internal or external command. Actually, something I am forgetting right now. That is something I am forgetting. What is it? Is setting environment variable environment something kind of set something or function where it is export and we are using okay. I can also use set here or using a set. I can use set. After that I need to run the command again. Yeah, it's working just fine. And let me run my server. First I need to cd into my crc folder and run my server here. Let's see if it's working or not. Okay, os dot environment variable is not object is not callable. Something is wrong here. Okay. Same thing that I did yesterday. It is not working right now. Let's leave it here. I will just figure out why it's not working and I will explain these things later in the next session, in the starting of the session. Because it's really important, because if you ever work in the production, you need to figure out how you can actually set your secret key and your database authentication key or the API's keys. You need to store them in your environment variable rather than in your setting.py file, because it's very bad habit if you save your all your secrets inside the setting.py. Someone might able to get inside and figure out all those things and you might lose something very big, like very big thing. So thank you for now. I will explain that environment variable part tomorrow. Okay, thank you. Let's continue tomorrow.